Alrighty, we're back. So we have just picked up with Madam Sir Helga, our new captain, after our old captain was beaten to death by his terrified crew after looking into the shiny lights at the geode. If you couldn't tell by the background, I have picked up the Submariner DLC. I was enjoying my time with the game, and I wanted to see what else this stuff did. So I picked it up. I don't know if this changes anything immediately or if it extends the game. We didn't get too terribly far into the previous game before we died, as far as I know. But hopefully, this one will run a little bit better. So let's load up our autosave and hope it hasn't been changed by our acquisition of the DLC. I'm not sure if we've ever seen this image before. We might have. A BDSM shark. Interesting. Oh, but here we are. Okay, yeah, so immediately I'm seeing some new options here. We've got our ones from the last time when we started off on Madam Sir Helga. But we also have a Submariner tutorial now. Do we have to buy a submarine first? I would assume that we would have to. But perhaps not. But in terms of our immediate situation, we know that the Admiralty, I think the Admiral himself had mentioned that something happened to our father at sea, which is our primary motivation here, which he regrets not having stopped, I think. So we'll check this out first. I hope it's not going to lock out any of these other options. We'll check out your father's bones, the next step. Do you have what your contact wants? No, evidently not. We have to talk to the dark spectacled Admiral. But to do that, we have to earn some Admiralty's favor first. So that will be something for the future. Our backstory for this character is that we were a soldier. We were also the rival of our former captain, which somehow resulted in our weapon being identical to theirs. We actually have an extra deck weapon here, which I will sell off immediately for the cash and to spare some space in the hold. Start off with another 10 fuel and 5 supplies. And we've got the advice for captains. I can't remember. I think this was just a guide. Yes. So I'm actually going to read the on endings and beginnings here because we have just recently died. So I want to see what has changed, what has not. Captains often die. This is not the end. When you die, you'll learn lessons which will help you survive next time. Beware, the layout of the Untersee changes with each new captain, but home waters are stable and the islands will only move so far. So I guess we will actually have... I assume the stripes on the map that we previously had would indicate which areas move, so maybe they shuffle left and right, or maybe things within them shuffle. Not perfectly sure as to which, but we will see. In terms of legacies, future captains can inherit some skills, officers, equipment, and money. Over time, you'll find extra items and advantages that allow you to preserve a greater inheritance. Luckily, we hadn't increased our ship too much other than the gun, which we ended up picking the soldier to get. And so this character, I have a feeling, is going to be much more battle-centric, considering our iron is quite high, and our starting weapon is already pretty good. I think for the rest of this stuff, we know pretty much everything. We'll just sell this off the bat to gain that echo advantage. Let's go check out the Submarine tutorial. Welcome, delicious friend. How to use your submarine. How does it work? This tutorial branch will tell you how to make the most of your submarine. So we do actually have to unlock submarine travel. So we don't start off with a ship capable of that. We just currently have Let's see, where's our ship here? Yeah, just the standard Sojourner class. Is the Submarine here somewhere? It doesn't look like it. Perhaps it's an upgrade we can make to our ship. Let's check the hold. Curious, no, so I don't see any new slots. We'll see where it leads. How to acquire a submarine. Her Majesty's Admiralty has sworn off submarine exploration. However, you've heard tales of unofficial research into submarine travel being conducted in her distant colony. So let's check this out. Travel to the southern coast and follow it east to find Port Carnelian. There you will learn how to convert your ship into a submarine. Be sure you're prepared for the journey. I wonder if that's a late game sort of thing. Port Carnelian was not too distant in our previous map, but as that may have changed, I don't know if that is something that you're meant to discover not too distantly into the game, or if it's just a random chance thing that it was somewhat close to us. So we've got another passenger, but I do not remember seeing the Labyrinth of Tigers last time we started a captain up, so I'm going to check this out. The Labyrinth of Tigers is open under the patronage to the London Zoological Society to cautious visitors for educational purposes. Here you may see the devil apes of Far Mandalay, the thing in the mirror, the Cantigaster's children, the gargantuan cave snake, the inhabitor of wolves, the hybrid fiend, NB. The management recommends that you arrange your exit well before closing time. Well, it seems we have a new opportunity here. If we were to have a harlot fry, which is evidently some sort of serpent, we would be able to sell it. I wonder if this will stick around in London, or if this was something that only shows up as a happenstance when we start off. Last time we did find a blemigan, I believe, one of those mushroom creatures. So maybe this is one of the random chance starts. Provide a rare creature of the labyrinth. Are those young siren serpents? Marvelous, marvelous. We'll pay you handsomely, of course we will. Purchase a live specimen from the labyrinth. The labyrinth does not sell its exhibits, but some keepers can be bribed. We have the ability to do neither of these, and so I shan't. That seems a very P.T. Barnum-esque sort of zoo/circus there. But let's check in with our passenger. Let's see if it's the same fellow as last time. It does look like that's the case. Agree to carry the August travel writer to Guider's Morn. He's prepared to pay handsomely for transport and is keen to commission your ship specifically. Well, we'll pick him up. He's going to give us 150 echoes to whenever we deliver him to Guider's Morn, which took us quite a while last time. So we'll see if it is closer or further this round. Welcome to board. The August travel writer shakes your hand. His grip is distressingly strong. Thank you. It's Guider's Morn I'm bound for first, he says. I hear they... He hurries over to your stoker, who is carrying his steamer trunk up the gangplank. No need to trouble yourselves. Give it here. Remember, madam, Guider's Morn. I'll pay you 150 echoes when we arrive. All right. Well, let's check in on London here. We can pick up another Blemigan Gallivanter. Our poor comatose ferret was mostly in the passenger wings the last time since the Blemigan Gallivanter joined our crew as mascot. It gave us an early bonus to a few of our stats. And I'm wondering if that's the correct option. I haven't really spoken to the comatose ferret just because it doesn't seem to want to do too much. It lies across your desk like a lumpy scarf. Let's try to play with it. Attract its attention. Ouch, the comatose ferret resents the disturbance. It springs to life like a figure into an enchanted painting in a story, sinking a sudden fang into your thumb. And we've gotten some terror from it. Okay. I do think we will pick up this Blemigan here. Mostly because our ferret doesn't seem to like us very much. I don't know if we can get rid of it. And I haven't even vaguely come across anything that would indicate that this ferret wants to be dropped somewhere. I Adopt a Blemmigan Gallivanter. A Blemmigan sits atop a splintered crate, clicking and whistling at captains as they come near. A polite bow. You extend your hand, and the Blemmigan leaps on. Its tendrils entwine with your fingers, and it chitters quietly. It meets your gaze and bobs its dome in greeting. It's very small. Is it old enough for naval service? You're pretty sure its mustache has been drawn on in pen in an attempt to look older. As you approach your ship's gangplank, the creature flutes and vibrates with apparent happiness. The bosun winces as you bring it aboard. So we never figured out why. Is it bad luck, or is he just unhappy that it's a whistler? Either way, we'll replace our mascot here. Let's go speak to the our Blemmigan here. We didn't speak to too many officers last time in terms of what they were looking for, mostly because it used up supplies. But perhaps this time it'll be better. Your Blemmigan Gallivanter. It has made its home on a shelf in your cabin. It has built a nest from loose journal pages, the engineer's scarf, and possibly pilfered map. Entertain your Blemmigan. You can see the indentation of the porthole on the rim of his cap. It must have been pressing its face to the windows again. Is it bored? No. A vivid imagination. You pull out your second best charts and several pens. The Blemmigan squeaks and bounces over, upending an inkpot in its excitement. You are ignored for several hours. When you return to find it on your new pillow, snoring quietly, your map has 3 new islands, a note reading simply, "Here are lions," and a drawing of, well, it looks a lot more like a vast spider than a lion. Thank goodness there's nothing like that at Z. We gained a little bit of terror, but let's go check our map out. Did it mark? No. Okay, perhaps it didn't mark anything. I guess that was just flavor text. I thought we had found something. Just in that interaction, I thought it would have given us a bit of world map items in the same way that Z-bats would have when you're near to an island you haven't discovered. But evidently that was not the case. Let's go talk to our cook. This is a fellow we took from our days as a soldier, whom we promised a position while we served with him. Speak to the Shady Cook. What you want? He might say more, but a coughing fit takes him. Eventually, he straightens up and wipes his mouth slowly with his forearm. The Shady Cook is not the most hygienic of officers, but he'll do until you find someone better. So we can increase our hearts with him, or we can ask him, well, we could if we had a secret, or we can ask him what he wants from life. Why did the Shady Cook choose to go to Z? Fur. He looks you in the eyes, slowly. He repeats it more slowly. Sea of lilies. He licks his lips very slowly. Eventually, you have to look away. The Sea of Lilies is somewhere in the east central Untersee. I'm actually going to start writing down more quests this time, because we had a few quests that we sort of forgot about in our last playthrough. And I do want to note down what we're looking for and the little bits of backstory that we had accumulated for their positions. So we're looking for, let's see, Shady Cook is looking for the Sea of Lilies. Somewhere in the east central Untersee. Interesting. Well, perhaps we'll find that. And if we do, perhaps we can drop him off at it, or do whatever it is he wants to do with it. Let's go visit the Admiralty. I think that'll be our best source of... We'll see. We could offer passage to a tomb colonist again, to Venderbite. I don't know if Venderbite is in the same location. I would assume that it's close enough to Fallen London to be a static location, but that could be not the case. In any case, let's visit the Admiralty's office. They'll pay for information from Z captains, find out what, how. Admiralty's Survey Office. The Admiralty's picket fleets and intelligence networks are long gone. The Survey Office pays Z captains a small sum for recent information, and then it just tells us to get port reports. So let's see if they want anything specific done. Previously, they had a few... Yeah, so it looks like it's the same situation as last time. This port, speak to our agent there. In return, we'll see that you're rewarded, and we need to retrieve the strategic information from the Iron and Misery Company funging station, somewhere not far from Homewater. So perhaps it'll be close by again. Maybe that's one of those semi-static locations. Ahoy, Zailor, says Songbird Misty. What's up, man? How you doing? We are starting off on our second captain here. We've also just recently picked up the DLC to the game, so we're seeing how things are done. So the Admiralty in Fallen London. Wants us to visit the Iron and Misery Company funging station. You've lost 12 captains so far. Wow. I don't know if that's a lot or a little, and whether or not I'm good or bad at this game, because I survived for quite a few hours on the stream with my first captain. I think I had 3 or 4 streams before of approximately 3 hours each before we ended up losing him, and I have no idea what the average is. But you are definitely more experienced than I am, unless you somehow got them killed very early on. So I'll be interested to hear your backstory. You have 94,000 echoes. Okay, yeah, you're definitely more experienced than I am, for sure. Okay, well, sorry, I was writing down the information for the funging station. Not far from Fallen London isn't much to go on, but it does tell us a bit. Let's see here. I think we'll pick up the tomb colonist here. That will give us somewhere to look for, and assuming it's in the same location, it shouldn't be too far a push here. I am a grizzled veteran of the sea. It's certainly, judging by the price you managed to accumulate, I would certainly say so. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on crew here. I will endeavor to ask you if I have any questions, hopefully for a response without too many spoilers. I'm trying to take this mostly blind, though now that we're on our second playthrough, we do know a little bit about the Z. Offer passage to a tomb colonist. An emigrant will pay to be taken north to Venderbite. It's oddly difficult to die in Fallen London, but when a Londoner is too tatty or wretched to live, they wrap themselves in bandages and take ship for the tomb colonies. Your crew cart these ones aboard in padded coffins. They'll sleep there until the journey is done. Like to share mechanics, not spoilers? Yeah, those are exactly the type of tips I'm looking for. We had a few friends show up and talk about I think it was helping out a sort of sketchy bruiser's employer. We never managed to fix him, but he did suggest to us that we could take a separate option what became a choice that would lead to something more interesting. So that's what we ended up doing. Didn't actually complete that or make any progress on it whatsoever as far as I could tell. But we did have that option, so that's nice. Okay, we got the tomb colonists going to Venderbite. Venderbite, not Venderbright. And I think that's just about everything here. We've got our officers all settled. We've got plenty of crew because we've just started off. We've got a decent amount of fuel. How have we lost fuel here? Hold on a moment. Did we not just start with 10 fuel? I swear we just started with 10 fuels. Okay, maybe I spent it on something. We will buy a flare because the last time we adventured, we did not have an emergency flare when we ran out of both fuel and supplies, and thus were not able to call for help. So I think a 10 echo cost for a flare, for the chance of being rescued, is probably a good idea. Other than that, I suppose I could list down the... Yeah, what the heck, I'll start listing down the new market. I don't know if it's changed. Maybe the location prices don't change. But yeah, we'll start writing down the Z market anyway. Like, there are legacy books you can get in-game, and you can see what to do to get them somewhat. Interesting. So is that something to do with actually getting a legacy? So passing down to... Our previous captain had a wife and child, but unfortunately we didn't quite see the need to create a will, so we sort of lost all of that. In the meanwhile, I will write down the sale and purchase prices. Prices are constant for ports, but it's good to figure out where everything is and the prices. Yeah, that's sort of what we did last time. We created a chart, just a chart written down here, of the prices of everything so we could know where to take any of our acquired or purchased goods to sell for profit. So, okay, so I suppose we could refer to our previous chart of sale. Yeah, I suppose we shall. That way we don't have to rewrite everything. We will keep a new page for our quests, though, because I have a feeling that they are not going to necessarily be static. Legacy books are rewards for specific big storyline endings. Most end your game. The location of a lot of the islands changed between captains. Yeah, that I do remember from the beginner's guide, the advice for captains book. So I'm interested to see what our new Z looks like. But I suppose to do that, we'll have to go sail out to it. Let's go buy a single bit of extra supply. And I think we'll set sail for the ocean. Or for the Z, rather. So let's... Oops. Close this. And embark. So Venderbite in our previous game was in the north, so we'll just turn up that way. Discovered Bad Stevener's Abyss. Oh, that's right, we get to rediscover everything. Let's see, I wonder if Hunter's Keep has been returned. In our previous game, it was lost to a fire, but I wonder if it has reformed itself now that we're a new captain. I don't know how persistence works across games yet, so I suppose we'll see that. Okay, let's go and talk to the sisters at Hunter's Keep. We still have a Submariner's tutorial. Oh, I suppose I should write down that location, that way we can dismiss this. Because I don't want to keep it present the whole time. But assuming we do get it, we'll probably need the tutorial such that we can understand how to use it. Okay, we'll keep it. We'll just keep it here. Let's go check out Hunter's Keep. A hump of dark rock swathed in mist, like 100 other Untersee islands. Here's a grand house, windows aglow, lawns impossibly green and lush in the false starlight. Raked gravel paths. You stand on the dock as the sea nudges the ship's sides. An unexpectedly warm breeze carries the faintest trace of lavender. Okay, so it looks like the sisters are back. We're not particularly sneaky, but we got a 3 and 4 of spying on the place. Or... Well, I think first thing we should do is get a port report, just to get a port report that we can sell back to the Admiralty. It'll also give us some more favors since it is a new location for this captain. Plunging cliffs, soft green lawns, a well tucked away in the fold of the grounds. Anything else? The sea's silence. Ships rarely come here. Nothing changes, even the weather. The house is the heart of the isle, the house and the sisters, but the Admiralty may be happy to know that nothing's changed at least. Oh, the Admiralty never learned in our previous game that the island had burned down because we never made it back to give them that report. Interesting. So I wonder if this is, if it has changed and it's somehow regrown, or if it just restarts at sort of the baseline here. If it starts just as though it had in the beginning of the last game. I suppose we'll see if there's a missing sister, because we did questionably lose Phoebe here. So let's go say hello. Present yourself at the house. They will have heard your ship come in. Why hide? Knock and enter. A maid with smoldering topaz eyes shows you into the parlor where 3 young women await. A visitor, the youngest cries. The next youngest chuckles. The eldest sighs. Do excuse the indecorum, she says. Visitors are rare. You are very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe. The cheerful one is Lucy. You are in good time for lunch. Will you join us? You are now acquainted with the Sisters of Hunter's Keep. Luminescent beasts like eyeless dolphins play in your wake. Did that show up last time? I don't know if that did. Venderbite, Cimmerian Canal, Iron Republic, Grand Geode, Port Carnelian, Wither Codex, Hunter's Keep, Quaker's Haven, Irem, and King Eater's Castle are always in the same place. Okay, we've been to all of those places except for Irem, I believe. So that is good to know. It means we'll just be able to sail straight up and down to them to go and figure out all the stuff there. But I wonder what this means. Luminescent beasts like eyeless dolphins. The maid went a little insane last time, but she hasn't done so yet, so I suppose we'll see how it ends up going off there. I believe each of the sisters is tied to a specific god of the Z. Cynthia was Salt, I believe. Phoebe was Storm, and that leaves Lucy as Stone. Or at least they were last time. So perhaps that will have changed in terms of the attentions that we may gain. Let's go talk to the eldest, though. Let's talk to Cynthia. Cynthia is the eldest, melancholy, pensive, and occasionally dramatic. Cynthia grasps your arm and whispers to you. Her eyes are wide and blue. Her hair is wild and tangled. Bats may nest in it. It seems to you that you are sitting on a hillside above a wide blue lake, listening to a story of a murder, an axe, a net, blood on scented water. Another chop, Cynthia asks. You've barely touched your food. Here, I'll have the maid wrap up something for you. You can't be hungry. It's not safe to be hungry. So we've got a tale of terror. Boy, did we accumulate those in our last playthrough. And supplies, and we're now acquainted. They're always the same as far as attention goes. Interesting. That's a good thing to know. I assume, yep, still no trade for them. But we'll keep on setting off to Venderbite. Yes, Salt is watching us now. That is something that we know. Salt actually saved us when we initially ran out of food and fuel in our last playthrough. We had a few sacrifices to him that ended up in our favor. All right, you. I've got a good weapon, and you are faced quite a ways away from me. As a soldier, I think it is my duty to sink you for looking at us the wrong way. The ship is yours. What will we do with her? We'll loot and scuttle her, of course. She's a vile old vessel, and the Z's aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. Lean pickings. These pinnaces don't sail far from their hidden harbors, but there's something at the back of the hold. Opening a cache of curiosity. Curiosities. What's inside? Some sort of barrel. Tap the bung carefully. Ooh, a firkin of honey. This is actually... There have been a few places that have requested this. This is what they call prisoner's honey, wrung from the lamplighter bees from the exile's rose. I wonder who made up all these names, remarks Abel Seaman Carget. Someone who reads a sight too many books, I'm thinking. I had to throw on the accent just to understand what he was trying to say. Salt isn't bad, storm is annoying, and you never want to tick stone off. Yeah, I'm not sure if the attentions are a good thing or a bad thing, but I suppose we'll figure out. I know we've lost them sometimes, but those were through doing things that I hadn't quite realized at the time would gain or lose us the attention. All right, we've discovered Carissa's Point, discovered Horniman's Stag. And Vendor Bite. There we go. The scent of the Z's, salt and frost and cellars, black spices. I think that's just another flavor text message for our something awaits you. Tension can be positive or negative and can be required for certain storylines. Excellent. Okay, so excellent in big old air quotes. Hopefully we'll be able to do something positive with it. The trouble with tomb colonists. You've brought this decaying emigrant north. Now what? One last fight. Your passenger has been drinking. Ahoy, she chortles. Defend yourself. She launches a tipsy assault. Your crew hang back, chuckling. Thanks, crew. Well, luckily, we are a soldier, so we should have a decent time of this. An effortless defense. Tomb colonists have a lifetime of bitter experience. Some of them are the deadliest combatants under the earth. Possibly this one is, when she hasn't drunk quite so much rum. You'll never know. She salutes you, laughing after you disarm her. Good fight, she opines. Then she staggers backward and falls over the side. Uh-oh. Well, good day to you, tomb colonist. You never do find what happened to her, but at least you have her rather magnificent cavalry saber and her belongings. So I guess this tomb colonist didn't quite run off. We did defeat them. We've now picked up an artifact. Oh, some iron as well. Lost the tomb colonist, but we picked up her supplies. So that's nice. Well, let's go check out Venderbite again. Tomb colony of Venderbite. On deck, you can hear the sound that 1,000 bandaged dead make as they shuffle and cough. It's something like the world's most restless concert audience or the world's most plague-ridden cathedral. We can assist a specialized collector. A dapper gentleman lounges by a dry fountain admiring a frost moth with a predatory gleam in his eyes. Would you help him find the quarry of a lifetime? Oh, so he's looking for a submarine something or other. Locked with Under Crow. Not sure what that is, but that'll require a submarine anyway. A weak call for help. An emaciated man is slumped against a wall of the docks, sitting on a huge crate. He waves weakly at you. Also a submarine. Yeah, these two are definitely things we did not see in our previous playthrough without the DLC. A dusty glass of wine. Venderbite is not the most promising place for shore leave. Too much decay, too little light, too many bandaged walking corpses, few companions of easy virtue, no cinnamon, no recent newspapers, very little pickled cave herring. So that would just reduce our terror should we have too much. But at the moment, we're doing pretty well. We could explore Venderbite. Here they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. But that will use up our something awaits us. Submariner stuff can be very dangerous. Okay. Oh, you want my advice? Ignore the submarine thing until you have a house, mansion, and heirlooms. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. This time I would definitely like to have a will written up sooner rather than later, as long as it doesn't cost us quite all of our echoes. Considering how quickly we died when I thought we had been doing rather safe, but evidently not. We could gather gossip. Yes, that'll go give us the port report. Who's plotting what out here in the tomb colonies? Along the coast of the Untersee, it's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. But they don't give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues, enough to keep your contacts in London interested. Perfect. We could visit the first curator, rather. Z captains. The first curator gives audience. The first curator is responsible for the preservation of the tomb colonies. It has been here much longer than London, like all the oldest tomb colonists. But even tomb colonists dissolve in the end. Its time is close. I think we'll go talk to him to pick up that quest that we had last time that we didn't make any progress on. The first curator's manse. No more light, the obsequious steward cautions you. The curator is terribly afraid of moths. He opens the door and you step out into near darkness. A pair of luminous lamplighter bees buzz in a latticed ivory tube. There's no other source of light. A bandaged shape, no longer than a child, lies crumpled on a couch. It lifts his head with obvious effort. It takes several seconds for you to distinguish its voice from the soft buzz of the bees. Listen to a whispered request. Z Captain, silkskin, not much left of me. I will go into the grand sanatorium. Bring me colors, 7 colors, pay well. So, we could ask this. Ask about the grand sanatorium. One hears the name whispered here and there in the arcades of Venderbite. I can direct you to 2 of the colors if you want a quick cash influx. I think it would be a more interesting time to try to figure it out for ourselves. We determined that I wasn't sure whether it was an encounter or a condition that we found the colors in. I'm not sure if it's an actual location either. So that much I don't know. I would assume that some of them, it seemed like the descriptions of some of them had indicated conditions, such as violence. I think there was, they are items. Oh, they're actual items. Interesting. Okay, that I did not know. So that'll be something we can actually search for. Perfect. I think we will listen to the request and then ask about the Grand Sanatorium, because I don't believe we heard about the Grand Sanatorium before. So let's listen to the final requests for this first curator. 7 colors. Cosmogon, Irigo, Pelican, Steward has list. Find them here and there across the wide black Z. We shall. Let's ask about the Grand Sanatorium. A long, low chuckling. Oh, Silkskin, you don't want to know. The chuckling becomes a cough. We don't die here below. Not unless we go to Z. So we needed something else, somewhere to end. So that must be some sort of final chamber with a emphasis on the final. Certain items are different colors. Interesting. So are they unique items, or are they just items that fulfill the purpose of the color? I wonder. Accept the commission. Yeah, I think we will accept the commission here. We will accept this poor man's final request. Thank you. This poor flesh thirsts for colors. No more words. It collapses, rustling, back onto the couch. Even the effort of speaking has seemed to diminish it a little. The audience is over. As the door opens, it shrinks from the finger of light that reaches across the floor. Outside, the obsequious steward nods. The book? Yes, the book. He hands you a slim, illustrated volume. The curator is old as dust. We will all be grateful if you do it this one last favor. Yes, and we've picked up all of the books and pages for the colors. Items that have other uses on their own or can be sold for profit elsewhere. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out on any items we pick up then. I feel like the backgrounds would be more obvious if they were to fulfill this. But perhaps that's not the case. I'm not sure. Still, we have picked up his request and will endeavor to complete it, hopefully before he dies. Some can be gotten unintentionally throughout your time, but some you have to go out of the way to get. The items are not always obvious. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to do a deep observation then. So let's double check here. Apocean, the blue of memory and brightest coral. So presumably that will be something coral related. Sea lights cosmogon, the color of remembered suns. The fecund, the fotid, and the fungal. These flourish in the glow of cosmogon. So this will probably be by perhaps the udder shroom and that sort of area. Maybe something else, if it's not fungal. I don't think we had anything that emitted light and was also fungal that we encountered last time. But we shall see. A page from the Neathbow, Gant. G is lost in Gant, which remains when all other colors are eaten. Gant can be found where shadows are myriad. So someplace very dark. Irigo, I is for Irigo. No one remembers why. Irigo colors the forgotten corners of home. This I had initially thought was related to the Iron Republic. Sometimes it's specific color thing and it's obvious. Otherwise, you may never realize you have a color. Interesting. Will that show up as a curiosity or... Well, I guess you already said that it would show up as... Some would show up as just random items that we'd miss. We'll have to keep that in mind then. Look very carefully through everything. Yes, Irigo. No one remembers why. We had a theory that this was tied to the Iron Republic because we were having issues remembered there, but I didn't seem to find anything that would confirm that theory. So we'll have to keep a lookout elsewhere. P drowns in Pelican, the color of the deepest Z. Someone has scrawled in the margin, beyond the gate there is a Z more sunless. I wonder if that's referring to Submariner things. Since this quest was available before we had the Submariner DLC, I will assume not. But we'll have to check. I have a feeling that it's probably not, though. And the two V's last. V marks violent. When blood is shed in a spired place, violent ink is employed for the most desperate treaties. I'm pretty sure this is regarding the King Eater's Isle, because when we were teleported there, we had the option to, I believe, sacrifice somebody to Storm. And that was, I believe, King Eater's Isle was surrounded by sort of peaks, which would make sense with the spired place. Like, there's no indication besides taking stuff to him to check. Oh, I see. So we actually have to revisit him. Your ability to pick up hints and connect the dots is most impressive. Yeah, I've been trying to cobble everything together. They could absolutely be wrong, though. Your reasoning makes total sense. Sadly, the developers aren't that smart. Okay. Well, we'll have to keep looking around then for something a little more obvious then. And lastly, Virik. Behind your mirror, V names Virik, the color of shallow sleep. Interesting. So maybe that has something to do with nightmares, though maybe I'm overthinking it again. But yes, let's see if we can pick up anything more at Venderbite. We could explore with our something awaits you, and that looks like the only option that we have here. We definitely don't have enough supplies for the Tomb Colonist tour. Last tour operator, ho, Captain. I have 12 sad and bandaged souls here. They're choosing their final fate. Will you take them on one last diversionary tour? It may be a longish trip. Make sure you have enough supplies. But yes, that will be something that we can go for probably when we have a bigger ship, because 12 supplies is a whole lot of supplies, which will both cost a lot and take up a lot of cargo space, especially if we get stuck with the Sphinx Stone like we did last time. So let's go explore Venderbite. Monumental ruins. The builders of this place worked with great slabs of Neath wallstone, carved with blank-eyed, unsmiling faces and blocky, stoic serpents. Search warily. The Neath is rarely gentle. Treat this place as enemy territory. Or we could picnic. Creepers climb the shattered pyramids. An owl blinks at you from an idol's mouth. In the undergrowth, a cave lizard munches decorously on a white cricket. This place seems peaceful. Rest a while. We do have a 1 in 3 chance here. My plan for my Saturday stream is to try some last tour runs. Interesting. I had assumed that was a single-use quest, but I guess not. But it does seem like something that requires a little more preparation, which we don't have at the moment. I think because I've got a 1 in 3 chance here, and I've got lots of crew to spare. I consider that sort of. Yeah, we'll go and give everything a look-see. Only shadows. This place was deserted long ago. You find traces of guilt on a shattered altar, remnants of vermilion paint on a rotting ritual mask. Nothing else. Oh well. Gained some terror. Gained a fragment. So nothing too significant. I think we shall set off. We'll just double check prices and whatnot from our previous area here. Better Bite had cask of mushroom wine selling for 23 here and 3 in our current game. So yeah, Foxfire candles for 33. Same sort of deal looks like across the board. Though this also has... Oh no, I see it has tomb colonists, which sell for 15. But I think I would bring them here regardless. So we will set off. We've got plenty of supplies now and still a fair bit of fuel. North of us, I believe, are Codex and Wither. So we'll go and stop off there to see what they have about. Looks like we've got a quiet journey so far. We've fed the crew. There goes some of our precious supplies. Oh, and one of these fellows. We hadn't seen these... Oh my god, he's got lots of health. Okay, let's turn off that light real fast. We're just going to try to sneak around him. Your terror is so low, that's so weird. Yeah, I too am unused to that being the case. But hey, if it means my crew won't murder us all in a mutiny, I'll be happy about that. Discovered the icebergs of the Pale Haunt. On the horizon, a sickly yellow light glimmers for a moment, then fades. I think that's our Something Awakens. And we've discovered Wither. Lifebergs are a significant challenge that I don't want to quite deal with yet. Andergard Harbor. Here we go. Let's go dock here. Wither, a chilly city behind a waste of salt. Behind the great arch over the bay, the pale wastes stretch, white and silent as the face of the moon. From here, you might almost imagine they were snow. North of the city, the salt pools fizz with unlikely color. So we could go grab our port report off the bat. Gather intelligence. The citizens of Wither enjoy questions, so much so that they always answer a question with another question. This can make intelligence gathering frustrating. Are you asking for any particular reason? At what time of day? Is that your hat? Might it be 6? It could be 6. Eventually, you cobble together enough implication and supposition to compose a report. I'm almost entirely sure that there's something between here and Codex, as this is a island of all questions, and Codex is an island of all answers with no questions. So I feel like there is something here that we're not quite getting. That'll be something that we have to unlock later. So let's go use our... Oh, let's double check our economy. I'm only going to do this probably for the first couple of places, just to confirm that everything's identical across. Right, Wither is the place that deals in Z stories, and Tales of terror. Yes, looks like that's still the case. Oh, and extraordinary implications. That's right. So it looks like everything is still identical here. There's nothing of too much interest to us. Let's go explore the town with our Something Awaits Us. Wither is a quiet, chilly town of gray stone and closed courtyards. The people are neither exactly unfriendly nor exactly hospitable. They have the irritating habit of answering a question with a question. Here and there are odd sights tucked away. Using Wither to earn implications. Yeah, I could see that being an important or an easier way to get those sort of implications than trying to find other encounters that give them to you. An intriguing smell. Who will try? Who will buy? A street vendor turns skewers on a grill. The mixed scents are nothing like anything sold in London. Could try the grilled troglodyte prawns. Huge and pale, their eyes stare bleakly into yours, but they smell fresh. Try a shredded jellyfish, not to everybody's taste, with a 31% chance of success. Or something mysterious. What exactly is Tyrant's Treat? The vendor is vague. Looks like something with a it looks something like a charred stick dripping with bluish fluid. I think I'd probably only try the troglodyte prawns. Or do you have something more robust? The vendor winks and produces a usefully anonymous skewer of meat. But we don't have the menace required for that, which I am fairly sure is cannibalism, pure and simple. So let's just stick with the, well, no, let's just stick with the prawns. Hungry and pale, their eyes stare bleakly into yours, but they smell fresh. Not bad at all, tangy and toothsome, walk on chewing carefully. Oh, sweet, we lost a bit of terror for that. We gained a fragment, and we've lost our hunger. Some of our hunger. And not at any cost. Sweet. Let's see here. I don't know if I actually made it to the complete top of the map. I knew there were sort of small islands there that we could have navigated around, but I don't know whether there is anything beyond that, and I'm kind of interested to see. So I think we'll head up as far as we can north, discover the Odinson Straits. Nice. We'll see if we can scooch around these. Yeah, here they are. The somewhat narrow island channels. I don't know if there's anything further up here that we missed. This strait is actually bigger than the rest of it. Uh-oh. Okay, so the map has stopped scrolling. I think we're gonna pull a U-turn here. Because I have no idea what happens if we go off the edge of the map. And I have a feeling that it wouldn't be pleasant. Curious, though. If we're feeling particularly adventurous, perhaps we'll take that option. Meanwhile, let's go dodge this iceberg. Sail north over the edge. I don't want to do that too soon here. Tell you what, we'll hit Codex and we'll try sailing over the edge. I'm sure it'll do something nasty to us. Uh-oh. Beyond just the iceberg that currently is interested in consuming us. Uh-oh. Is he gonna make it to us? No. And once we dock at Codex, we will be safe. Relatively speaking. Something interesting will happen. Okay. I'll have to make sure to do that then. So let's go dock up at Codex. We might want to purchase some more fuel since we're getting a little low. I think we'll return to Fallen London after we head up north, assuming it doesn't send us someplace wild. But I think I will pick up, let's just say one fuel. Let's go check out the Isle of Codex. Codex, a desperate cave full of mute exiles and an inexplicable colony of shivering, bad-tempered monkeys. This one's new. Agree to a damp request. Seeing your ship, a drowny approaches with purpose. After a soggy exchange, it seems he seeks passage to the undersea spire of Scrimshander. Okay, so that is something that is also unlocked with a submarine. You can acquire a doomed monster hunter. This one has waited all her life for a single answer. Give her that answer, and she will be ready to lay down her life. But that unfortunately requires a searing enigma. Resupply before sailing over the edge. Got a decent amount of supply. I think I'll get some more fuel then. Let's compile a port report as well. No one will speak. This is a challenge. Silently forthright. The exiles see many come, fewer leave. Some are even unwilling to communicate, but their gestures are unfamiliar. The meanings unclear. Oh no, some are even willing to communicate. Even when you can understand, these are answers without questions, as useless as a lock without a key without a lock. There we go. Okay. So we'll go sail over the edge in interest of keeping things interesting. I think I'll buy up to 7 fuel. And we will make for it. We'll swing this way around Codex to avoid that iceberg? Ice something? Lifeberg, that's the one. Well, let's go check out the edge of the world. Discovered Pucker Ridge Lookout. Pucker Ridge's Lookout. Oh, interesting. So I think our boat will actually fit through these channels. I thought that there was kind of just the one, but I think we'll be able to fit through the left side here. We'll take it slow though. Okay, navigate carefully, and we're good. We're in the clear. Alrighty, let's check out the edge of the world. A ship's horn far away. The place that is no place. The Untersee has no northern shore. Space is forbidden. Time contracts to a single frozen instant. There is only one way north. The High Gate. You huff and fumble your way through the darkness. The stokers labor below, as in an old sick dream. Fuel evaporates. Zailors stiffen to statues. Safety. This is not a good place to be, but at least it is a place. Frost found, where the castle where riddles fight questions to the death. For a while there, you were somewhere beyond places. Perhaps you survived. Oh, wow. We've lost 4 crew. We've gained a whole lot of terror. We've lost all of our supplies and a single bit of fuel. We now have Scars of the North. Okay, interesting. So, Frost found. Where is this? Well, I don't have any shops as far as we know. We found our tireless mechanic here. We could spend half of our echo on him. Frost found towers and ramps and galleries and stairs of ice, raised and spun like an architect's honey dream. No spider ever wove so complex a web. The towers are utterly pristine, untouched by human life, but a pitiable encampment squats by the dock. Engage an officer, the tireless mechanic. The tireless mechanic has had enough of Frostfound. He smiles at you over his spectacles, teeth chattering. Brr, I'm so glad to see a ship at last, ready to offer my services. I'm an engineer, finest year ever hire, treat engine like my own children, not that I have children. Too busy, usually busy. So we encountered him over in Fallen London our last playthrough. Interesting. Take tea with the squatters at the dock. Some of them wear robes of Iremi riddle fishers. Some look like Withern folk, but even more ragged. But they do seem a little more practical than either of those peoples. Ask the squatters about the castles. You notice they avoid looking at it directly. Or enter Frostfound. We don't have the mirrors required for that. And boy, do we not have the terror for it. Let's also create a port report about this location. The Admiralty will definitely want us to report back about this location. What are the squatters up to? Bickering amiably. Not all are Iremi or Withern. There's the odd researcher, an occasionally deranged ice sculptor, now and then a very cold, very sad, rubbery man. But for the most part, an atmosphere of friendly rivalry reigns. Curious. Take tea, don't ask about the castle. Yeah, considering we've lost all of our supply and most of our crew, I will agree with you. Let's take some tea here. A surprisingly warm welcome. We're keeping the steps for the game of truths, a helpful riddle fisher explains as she fills your cups for the third time. Every year, the people of Irem and Wither meet here for, she pauses, contests. She finished vaguely. The difference between a question and a riddle. One day, someone will prove themselves enough to enter the castle. You spend a pleasant few hours while the tea is supplemented by with Iremi liqueurs, pale withern beer, and something the riddle fisher described blandly as snake cake. They offer you fuel and supplies before you leave. We keep enough to spare, the riddle fisher grins. From time to time, a captain gets lost and comes up here, and we always feel bad for them. Oh, thank you very much. Some supplies, some fuel, and a bit of terror gone. That's nice of them. I think we might as well spend our echoes on this guy. We've got enough fuel to make it back, and now we have some supplies. And I think a mechanic will always come in handy, especially because I believe he reduces our fuel consumption. Welcome aboard. Spot of rust, spot of rust. Soon see to that. You there, help me with the spot of rust. So now we've got the mechanic. Doesn't look like anything else here is available. So let's throw our officer to work. Give us some veils and a bit of fuel efficiency. I guess we'll set off. So, oh my goodness. Oh, we got moved so far. So now it's Stoddard's Haven. We're gonna have to make some moves to get back. I guess we are headed out at half crew. I'm gonna turn off the light to save fuel here. Let's send out a Z-Bat immediately. See if we can pick up any other locations near us. Frostfound is some distance to your north. That'll be up there. Wait a minute, was I not at Frostfound? Okay, I guess that was technically something else. Or maybe I just didn't discover the island because I ended up at Stoddard's Haven. Uh-oh, the nightmares come. It's not a port, it's a discovery. Ah, I see. Discovered Dathuli's Rage. Well, let's ignore this because we do not need some more terror right now. Even if we were to succeed there, I think we still get the terror. Am I drifting into that? It may be the case. I can't go any faster than this because I'm now at half crew. Belch of smoke goes up from the funnel. We've got something awaits us again. Send out our Z-Bat. Teneb is some distance to your northeast. Okay, so yeah, that is in the opposite direction we're trying to head right now. Our captain here may end up disappearing more quickly than we predicted. Discovery is part of Frostfound. Ah, I see. We enter Stormbones. St. Eligius sends his fire to dance in the air on deck. Very far away, we see the great light of the Ragged Crow. Oh boy. We are in dire straits here. Hopefully we'll come upon something useful. A row of watchful Z-Bats perch on the ship's railing. Their heads swivel about in unison as you cross the deck. I'll send our Z-Bat out to sea. Sail south is your only chance. There's something underwater some distance to the west. Yeah, I think sailing south is the correct choice here. There's a lighthouse up there. Ooh, something glowing. Is it just a lamp? I think it is. Keep the light off too, I suppose, to conserve the fuel. Our terror will just have to take it for now. A baked breeze rises the improbable scent of stone out of some distant desert. You're close to the salt lines. Oh, wow, so they've moved way a ways away. They're quite the distance over here. What's this to our southeast? Got unlucky with the crow there. It's bad luck. Uh-oh. Salt lions is... yeah, we already knew that one. Okay, so that just double pings it. Can't buy stuff at the lions. This is true. White Z-Bat. A Zailor has grown fretful and disobedient, reluctant to go on deck, even in port. There's a white Z-Bat watching me up there. Salt's messenger. Salt's got its eye on me. I'll never see him home again. Salt, a sailor's superstition. Order up on deck at once. Salt, one of the nameless gods that Zailors fear. This sailor is a conscientious man. Send him to the sick bay on the pretext of a fever. Shoot the Z-Bat. If the bloody thing is frightening your bloody crew, you'll bloody well settle its hash. Considering Salt may have to save us here, although I doubt we'll get as lucky as we did the last time we ran out of fuel and supplies. Yeah, I don't want to shoot it either. Let's let our dude go to the sick bay. And onwards. The Zailor is grateful, though your ship's doctor rolls a skeptical eye. When he next goes up on deck, the railings are clear of Z-Bats, white or black, and he sets to work with a will. You know something of the three gods of the Z. Yes, I do. Will you make us some food? We'll have to go for it. Just keep backing up. Now, I think he will fill us up, if not, to clear our hunger, if not to provide a full supply. It's a gillifleur? Is it a young jellyfish? A lesser subspecies? Do the dreams of jellyfish become real? In either case, it's now a sad slick of goo dissolving into the Z. Let's go eat it. Perhaps you can eat it. Better yet, perhaps your Zailors can. A spreading stain. It's gone. You were left with with gooey gloves and a buttery smell. And this purple thing, is it an egg? A heart? A less fortunate traveler dissolved and shriveled to a mauve ruin? Put it somewhere safe. We now have a strange catch. Interesting. Okay, we got to turn off our light. We are running well out of fuel here. Well, you've said that we can't buy anything at the Salt Lions. And honestly, with the amount of money that we currently have, I would tend to agree with you. But I'm going to dock here if only to give the possibility that we can find some sort of encounter. We won't be able to get the Sphinx Stone from them for sure, but that is something that we will have to do at a later time. Yeah, no shops at all. We could go for Salt's rights. What did I miss? Well, we sailed off the north edge of the map, which somehow lost us half our crew, a whole bunch of our supplies and fuel, and dropped us in the middle of the map, distant from where we were, which was right next to Fallen London, sorta. So now we found the Salt Lions, whose island has been rotated out in the middle of the sea. Or of the Z, I suppose. then sailed straight into the ragged crown in the salt lines. Yes, that is true. Well, let's go compile a port report. If nothing else, they'll find this on our corpse. I think this captain isn't long for the world. I have a similar feeling. Notes for the Admiralty. Record the activities of the Unmakers, such as they are, Rite of Stone and Silence. We could visit the Unmakers, or we could do a Salt Rite. That will give us terror, but it could give us something else. And the something else I'm hoping is supplies. So I think I might take that option since I don't know what the Unmakers will do. Muscular pick wielders rest on camp stools, watching you approach, passing hip flasks around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. I think I will have to go with the right here. Granted, your last captain got out of worse situation, so there's always a possibility. That's true. We passed two very, I assume, high checks to get us teleported out from the middle of the ocean, followed up by getting out of King Eater's Isle, being teleported straight back to Fallen London. But I have a feeling that was a unicorn sort of situation going on there. Still, we could we'll put our fate in the hands of the gods here, or one particular god. The face of the northern sphinx is all but gone. Lost faces are very sacred to Salt, they say. You are drawn there, but to what end? Salt's voice is distant but clear. Into the Z. Dive from the sphinx's face down in a clean arc into the Z's chilly darkness. Float there in the quiet until your lungs are bursting, until light blooms behind your eyes. Rise gasping to the prickle of the false stars and the shocked faces of your crew. You've brought something with you. Well, we gained fear and an extraordinary implication which we sadly cannot eat. And that used up our only bit of something awaits us, so we're going to have to set off again. Lights off to save as much fuel as possible as our crew hungers. Our crew groans with hunger. We could consume the strange catch. That's true. You can tighten your belts, but bad things will begin to happen. This card will remain available as long as hunger is over 50. Don't let hunger reach 100. We don't have any zoop. We do have the catch. I think I'll let it gain a little bit more before I consume the catch, but we will keep that as a backup option. Even if it goes poorly, hopefully it'll feed us when we do get it, even if it kills somebody. Half rations, hushed voices, tired faces. Encourage them. This isn't the time for rousing speeches, but a quiet word here and there will help. And essentially a 1 in 3 chance of succeeding. Oh, we did. Brighter eyes, it's short rations for you too. Lead by example. We've only gained 1 terror. I want to see you get out of this. I would love to get out of this. I really would. But based on the distance we have to travel, the fuel we have to do it, and the the supplies that we have, it's not looking great. Ooh, what is this? Oh, that is large, whatever it is. Okay, we're gonna ignore that one. Let's give another speech. We gained 5 terror. If we get to, say, 80 terror, 80 or 90, I'm going to consume here. Oh, man. It's popping up every time, too. Maybe I should turn on the lamp just to keep the terror from going up too quickly. No islands in range. What do you call this then, Z-Bet? Surely you don't know what... Oh my god, that's a massive crab. You know if the game is easier on you when your captain is still young? Based on our encounters with a young captain, I don't know. Z-bats. Come here. No landlubber would notice the change, but you feel the air prickle on your skin somewhere new. All right, you I can shoot down and feed to my crew. Come here. Stop flying away. I can't reach you that way. Well, no, like you have better luck. Maybe. That could be the case. Like when you got your super lucky rolls with the last one. Yeah, I've got no clue in that effect. Oh, thank God. Okay. Gather up the corpses. They are succulent with stolen blood into the pot. Yes. We've got supplies. We can feed our crew. We're also running low on fuel, though. An unorthodox diet. Those little bones are troublesome, but the flesh a little gamey, but salt them well enough and they're quite edible. We've been fed. All right, lights off. Wait a minute, what is this? A strange catch. Oh, so we can fish now. Lures a submerged Z-beast to the surface. How curious. I don't think so, but I'm testing the way time the healer changes things. Interesting. Send our Z-bat out. Bonnie Reefs is some distance to your southeast. Horrors below. Zailors at the rail call softly. Something swims beneath the ship. I saw it looking up at us, says one. One says, his voice a tremble. Our supplies situation and fuel situation. Our terror situation is real high. Our supply situation indicates that we should go for it. We do have a 3 in 5 chance. Okay, it only gained us 1 terror, even though we failed. No sign. Empty nets. No sign of the beast. Empty nets. Empty hold. Empty house. The lookout says. You glare at him, but the damage is done. Bonnie Reefs is in a port. Okay. Well, then we will continue to sail to the only known port we have. No islands. Well, it's a good thing we bought that flare then. Because we may need to be rescued in not too long here. I have no idea whether that flare is even a sure chance of being rescued. Feel kind of bad for convincing you to sail over the edge. I suppose it's better to do it now when I don't have too much invested in this captain. Madam Sir Helga has had a short but entertaining life, and we can always take off the gun on this boat, which is really the only fortunate part of it, or the only good part of it. Because I don't mind going for another iron playthrough, especially as this one wouldn't have gotten too far. The air trembles, a breath of change passes. Ooh, is this something down here? That looks like a port. No islands in the Z-Bat's range. What are you talking about? Here the wilder airs mingle with the airs of the near reaches. Demo's Gate, named for the navigator lost above. How did his bones come below? Home waters. Zailors dawdle at the rail, watching for the lights of London. Wow, we've made it back? No. Oh my goodness, we're so close. How did we do this? I'm amazed that we made it back. We made pretty much a beeline. And we had some fortunate kills at sea to continue to eat. You have nothing to sell us, that much I know. Ah, but Hunter's Keep is back. And we can get a luncheon. How lovely. Let's go gain some other god's attention. Let's talk to Lucy. You're by the funging station. I thought that was further out. Hunter's Keep is right by Fallen London. Maybe that was also in one of the rotational areas. Yeah, I think I am going to go with Lucy because I think she is for Stone. Yeah, she is. Luncheon with the sisters. Lucy, the middle sister, is sunny, restless, prone to giggles. A daft tale. Lucy leans over and whispers to you confidentially. A complex story about a butler, a pig, and an inheritance. You don't follow all of the plot, but somehow the pig ends up in an attic, and the butler in a vicar's bed. Candles flicker, dishes enter and leave, but the wind butts gently at the window panes. By the time that plum pudding arrives, you're as cheerful as you've been in months. And we've lost 10 terror. Lovely. Oh, we've got supplies. We've completely lost our hunger. Fantastic. We'll turn off that light. We're barely gonna make it in. Well, maybe not with the light off. Boy, are we going slow. I hope these port reports are worth quite a bit. Okay, there's Fallen London. We see the edge of it. We can let our zailors' terror get as high as we want now, because we can make it back to London and reset it to 50. We'll be a little. It's a little early to be at that much terror, but boy, are we making it there. Green glass and basalt, salt and silence. I think that's just the something awaits ya. Bad Steveners, Abyss. I was thinking that abysses are how you got to the Submariner stuff, but who knows if that's the case. I suppose we'll see when or if we get to having a submarine. Okay. Are we back? Just about. There we go, we can dock. The Revenue Men. Her Enduring Majesty's Customs Service works closely with both the Ministry of Public Decency and the Masters of the Bazaar. Today, they have selected you for an inspection. Don't cheek them. Pay custom duties on any untaxed souls or romantic literature you're doing. We don't have any of the ones they're looking for, but we do have Prisoner's Wine, I believe. Or Prisoner's Honey, I think. Ooh, we could talk our way out of search now that we're a soldier. Today's duty officer is a patriot. Perhaps you can claim you're on Admiralty business. We don't have any favors to do that. Prisoner's Honey is fine, I think. Yeah, I didn't see it on this list here, so I think we can just let them in. Vexed and frustrated, they roam your deck like wolves. They tear through your belongings like termites. At last, they leave. Menaces, suspicion hasn't changed because it's lower than 5. Do I have any menaces? This is my inaugural journey. Like, I think they sell it in Fallen London. I think it's red honey that's bad. Ah, it's red honey that's bad. Gotcha. Returning to London. The lights of London welcome you home. A breath of relief. As soon as the gangplank touches the quayside, the terrors of the deep sea lighten. Walk taller, smile more readily, but what dreams may cling? Hey, we've got our terror reset, and we have nightmares now. Well, one nightmare. Dang, we got so close to facing our nightmares with the previous captain before he died. Okay, let's go collect some of our messages. All the clatter and song of the dockside, it soothes the soul. Are there messages for you? Something's changed. Somebody wants to sign on. We'll need somebody to sign on. And the Rose Market bustles. Consider a specialist surgeon. It's the amputationer. I think that's amputator? Something like that. All I know is that she cuts off people's limb as a specialty. A little gift. God knows we need one. let's check out the Roser's Wharf, because we've got a strange catch and a firkin of prisoner's honey we may need to offload. Honey-addled detective is collecting watchful curios. Jovian Contrarian is purchasing long boxes. And just another thing to reset. I no longer feel bad for suggesting you sail over the edge. It certainly added to the adventure of it, that's for sure. Let's go get our port reports validated. Hunter's Keep. I trust the sisters are keeping well. They are citizens of her enduring majesty, notionally. 5 echo, some fuel. Perfect. Vendor Bite. What have the nearly dead been up to then? Nothing of detail. Wither. I refuse to ask any questions. I don't want to give them the satisfaction. Okay, some more fuel. Perfect. Codex. Exiled for giving answers. That's Wither for you. So that, yeah, so they are connected. Interesting. Anything new? Not so much. Salt Lines. The Bazaar has always taken an interest in that place. And finally, Frost Found. Is it as beautiful as they say? I doubt it. Poets are notorious liars, but liars make bad poets. A paradox, isn't it? Never mind your report. Okay, so only 30. Didn't give quite as many. But luckily, that has topped up our fuel to 7. We now also have enough to talk to the Admiral about our father. Which will use up some of our... Or maybe it's just unlocked with some of our favor. We've got a fair amount, and our hull's not terribly low, so we don't need to use it to be repaired. Let's go talk to him. You've earned the Admiralty's favor. The dark-spectacled Admiral will see you now. You're ushered into his office off Mansion's Pyre, a cramped room with a vast desk. He surveys you across that desk. Ah, yes, the merchant captain of whom we hear such complicated things. A deplorable end. At the Parthenaeum Club, the Admiral dropped hints about your father, about his deplorable end. What does the Admiral know? Let's go see what he knows, I think. Yes, there was a certain report. King Eater's castle. The empty temple at the end of the world. Your father went there. No one makes pilgrimage there if they intend to return. One way or another, no pilgrim returns home. I have heard that they stay. I have also heard that they go on somewhere further. It is a regrettable place, Captain, the King Eater's castle, and its pilgrims do regrettable things. If you go, do not take any who are dear to you. King Eater's castle is in the far southeast of the map. Go there if you must. Interesting. So we'll write that down, such as we don't forget it. King Eater's castle at the far southeast end of the map. This was for Father's bones. Is King Eater's castle. Southeast of the map. The far southeast of the map. Okay. I think first thing to do, well, let's see the little gift. Very fine evening to you, Captain. My, what you might call mentor, is very fond of adventurous Z captains, and he would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation, on account of he is so fond of Z captains. So, could inquire further. Could accept the dispensation, which has 15 points of space. Yes, we do. Let's inquire a little further, though. I think our soldier is a little bit more upstanding than our last captain, who was an urchin. Who is this patron? Is there a catch? An airy wave. He runs a very fine and very liberal establishment just across the river, what is much patronized by zailors and by men of wit and vinegar. A public house. And there is no obligation to speak of. My patron no obligation to speak of. My patron would hope only that you might remember him kindly, and I suppose that if the opportunity should arise for you to return his kindness, then I do not imagine he would refuse your offer. Your last captain also got this offer with 0 fuel supplies, echoes, 0 port reports, and like 80 hunger. Yeah. I'm feeling as though I could use the everything here. Oh, look at that. It has filled our space with fuel and supplies without any cost to us. A courteous nod. Well, my patron hopes that you find these little gifts to your liking, and he expects that perhaps someday you might choose to call on him at the Medusa's head. Okay, that's how we get to him. Because we were trying to find this fellow at the docks, and we could not, for the heart of us, find him. Should that day come, we will make you very welcome and give you any safe conduct what you might require. Good evening to you. He salutes and is gone. Okay, so I'm just going to write that down. Medusa's head. What should I call this fellow? This is the... At no cost whatsoever. No consequences. What are consequences anyway? Exactly. This is clearly a generous donation. Nothing else. We did get some suspicion, though, from dealing with a somewhat sketchy patron. We'll call this the Bruiser at the Medusa's head. Okay, so now we know how to find him. The Blind Bruiser, that's it. I've never seen the Medusa's head, at least not on the menus here. But should that come up, then we will have that as the case. And Clattery Air, that's her name. She's staying at a respectable boarding house near the docks and has made it known that she is available for work. I specialize in amputations. It's easy to acquire unwanted appendages at Z. Employ the Clattery Air. Her talents could be well employed on your vessel. I do think we shall. Only 30 echo. Yes. You don't find him, he finds you. Ah, I see. Okay. Welcome aboard. She comes with a bag full of knives and her own personal sharpening stone. Don't touch these. Don't let anyone else touch them. We've got a doctor now. We are some of the way to becoming the Firefly. Or the Serenity, I suppose. So I wonder if we can... Let's go talk to these fellows. I wish that we didn't have to spend supplies in order to talk to them. But I think that may be a decent option. We have the money to purchase more supplies. So I think it should be okay. We'll talk to each of our new crew officers here. And we'll buy up the supplies such as we need them. No, I don't think the doctor in Firefly was as knife happy. He was as needle happy. I'm pretty sure he drugged a few people. All right, let's invite him to dine with you. His tastes are Spartan. He eats little, drinks only water, barely sleeps at all. So you need only lay a simple table. An appeal. Thanks for the meal and the company. No wine. It makes me sleepy. Oh yes, I can sleep too easily. That's the problem. He hesitates. There's a draught I take nightly to substitute for sleep. It works well enough and it keeps me sane and upright, but I wish I could enjoy just one night's sleep. You could help me. Oh, so we have a quest here. Okay. So we need, let's see, tireless mechanic. We need a clayman from Polythreme. Oops. Polythreme. Never encountered that location before. We need a mirror catch box. And we'll need to go to Hunter's Keep. I'll explain when we get there. No, I'm serious. I would owe you a great deal. Mirror catch boxes are rarely sold in London, but can be found in the Khanate and occasionally elsewhere. Interesting. I wonder if that comes up as a... Let's see here. Ah, okay, so that does stay listed in our journal. So, let's talk to the clattery air then. We could proposition her. This captain certainly has no wife or child like our last captain. So we could go with the very stabby surgeon. Speak with the clattery air. She works with 2 scalpels at a time, or with a scalpel and a tined instrument, pinning open the flesh she's working on. Her operations are brisk and yield very little blood. Let's offer her to dine with us, despite the cost of supplies. She's going to peg you. I have a feeling she's more into doing things with knives, which I'm concerned about. Does she wield the fork the way she wields a surgical instrument? Precise bite sizes. The cooked flesh arrives still in its shell. From the claws, 8 legs, body, and a head, she renders a dozen neat bite-sized piles of shredded flesh, sutured with mushroom, or pinned together with a needle of chitin. Perhaps she missed a calling as a chef. She denies it. My mother was the child of a surgeon in the first city. You might say that knife work runs in the family. There's a wicked, quirking smile at the corner of her mouth. Then there are the rumors about my father. She would deny there's any truth in those. Lost some supplies, and we know that she is looking for her parent. We encountered her parent in the last run-through, but we never told her as per his request. I think in this one, if we do encounter him, we will definitely tell her. Hopefully this does not lose us her. Oh, we can actually ask about her father now. Oh, we've got it's because we have a strange catch. We've somehow unlocked this. Perhaps she becomes more talkative when she has something to cut. Perhaps you can get her to say more about her father. Let's see then. Who was he then? There's flensing, deboning, and orderly arranging of scales from large to small. This was the creature's favorite organ, she says, working briskly with tweezers and a blade. Don't touch it. The purple bits are toxic. She only turns to personal matters when she's had a chance to rinse her fingers. I get my proficiency with metal from both sides of the family, she says, watching your expression closely. Then, Mother was a favorite with Mr. Iron. She says that they only worked together, that Mr. Iron sponsored her work and provided her with tools. Sharper tools that do not bend so easily. Oh, so she is possibly related to Iron and what's the shop here? The Iron and Misery Company. Wow, okay. That's super interesting. We don't have any live specimens, sadly, to continue learning here. That is fascinating. I don't want to romance her because I'm afraid she's going to cut my throat in the middle of relations. But man, what a neat connection there. We could use we still haven't used our day off, I believe. We could visit the university and sell our outlandish artifact, our I believe it was a sword of some kind from the tomb colonist who conveniently just fell overboard. We could carouse in the Wolfstack docks. Got a pretty decent luck for that. We could hire on more crew. Wait a minute. You need another day, new recruit? I swear that they said that that was... Oh, I see. No, because we hired the surgeon. We hired the Clattery heir, and that used up our another recruit. Okay. Our ship's doing all right. Hold capacity is quite full. Hull capacity is damaged, but not terribly so. I think... I don't want to hire on too many crew here. But we do need some crew. Let's... Curious. Could run into trouble or romance. Let's just hire on crew. Well, now we've got a lot of terror. Okay, let's carouse in Wolfstack Docks first. A good night out, sea shanties, good companionship in the warmth of a pub fire. Lost 5 terror, 30 echoes, got some recent news, and we've lost our day off. I think 6 is a good number for crew. I concur that 6 is a good number. I'm afraid that we will get more than 6, though, who will consume our supplies very quickly. As we only have 4 supplies now, and after spending this, we won't have enough to purchase... Actually, we'll be able to purchase 1 more supply. But... perhaps that's an option. Sensible zailors are looking for a safe run to the tomb colonies, or at least a sane run to the southern archipelago. You'll need to buy drinks, spread around hiring fees, look for daredevils. Let's do it. Rich pickings. Your tall tales find a ready audience. Scarred and seasoned men and women tramp aboard and find places to sling hammocks. We have picked up 3 crew, so we're at 7. I lost a little bit of terror. Okay, so... despite not having visited the location in this playthrough, we have visited the Iron Republic in the previous one. I know that the Cumaean Canal doesn't have any purchasing or sale available. Is the Iron Republic looking for anything at cost? Supplies it buys for 25. But it doesn't look like... and Zoop they buy for 77, but we don't have either to spare. I think maybe we'll try to head all the way to the Carnelian port. Or all the way to Port Carnelian, rather. We're going far afield in our first initial runs. Our first run ended up with us halfway across the map, and I have a feeling this one shall as well. But Carnelian, Port Carnelian is just as good an economy to sell in as Fallen London, with the exception that we can't get our port reports validated, for lack of a better word, so that we can make money off of that. Perhaps we just sail down to the Iron Republic and the Command Canal and everything down there. Be careful, I like this captain. I like him too. He's only had one voyage so far, but boy was that was a voyage. I think we may end up selling this. Well, we'll check in with the university at least. The university has an inexhaustible appetite for secrets, Z specimens, and other tidbits of esoteric lore. Provide a secret to prove yourself worthy of entry. Quite impressed. Oh, yes, the university's maritime liaison whispers breathily. Oh, yes, this is a tasty one. Let me explain it to you. She or he explains, teeth glinting. And we are now an antiquarian. And we've gained pages. Oh, pages is a stat. Right. So it's the Alarming Scholar. The Alarming Scholar is mercurial, to say the least, a creature of sudden moves and provoking teeth. Possibly her, is it her, appointment to the University Maritime Liaison was precautionary to keep his, is it his, razor-sharp enthusiasm from causing too many injuries in this facility. In the faculty, rather. Honestly, she, he is how I describe Madam Sir Helga. Yeah, I agree. I concur. So we could trade her our artifact here. Ooh, we could give her the extraordinary implication, too. I think this is actually worth quite a bit from what I can remember. Considerably more than an outlandish artifact. And because the outlandish artifact is a sword, I think it would be... I think it would be in character for me to want to keep that. How do non-binary ninjas kill people? Is this a setup to a joke? I'm not sure. They slash them. Ah, I see. That was an awful joke. Oh my goodness. But we'll feed our scholar an extraordinary implication here, I think. The scent of secrets. I will place it with the others one day. One day I will have enough. Yep, that gave us 250 echo. So now we are no longer stuck with a not great amount of cash. Let's buy us some... Well, let's check out here. Since we now have enough money to reach Port Carnelian and have money, have echo to spare, what do they want at Port Carnelian that is sold here? Cask of mushroom wine they purchase at 23 echoes. Romantic literature they purchase at 22, but I think both of those things are almost identical here. And we can't get romantic literature here. Firkin of prisoners' honey. We could try to find the pirate location. What was that? Was that Corsair's Forest? It'll sell for 26 there. They're looking for solace fruit at 50, but I think that is also the same situation here. Yeah, and we don't have any solace fruit to be sold. Maybe we shall pick up some mushroom wine and make a small profit. We'll pick up like 2, 3. Actually, we've got plenty of cash to spare. Maybe 5. Take 100 echo off. And we'll sell it for slightly more. Yes, I think that'll do us some good. We should also get ourselves supplies to last the trip. We've got plenty of cash to spare, famous last words. Well, it could be. It could be. But we've got enough to spare for now. We'll buy up to, I think... We'll buy another 4 supplies here. I think we'll head out next here. Could get a better lamp for our echo. But I don't think we'll do that just because of cost. We could sell our very nice weapon for 250 echo since we got it for free. Make us a profit on it. But I think I'll do that if worst case scenarios end up going around. We can sell that for 250 and buy the cheap version. One of the cheaper versions here. I think we'd probably go all the way back down to the beginner's weapon. Okay. I think we've got enough setup here in order to set off for the southern end of the Untersee. We'll discover lots more places en route. We've got plenty of fuel, luckily. We've got fuel to last us for ages. I suppose we could also sell it at a profit if we needed to. Now provision. Try venturing further from London. The risks are greater, but so are the rewards. Discovered the Murray Straits. Now let's go check out this island, which turned out to be something rather nasty before. But I do want to check it out here while we're before certain things have happened. Yes, Quaker's Haven. Once the simple fishing village was part of the London suburbs before London fell and the waters rushed in. Smoke spirals from cottage chimneys. A lonely hill rises behind the town. So this will be a Submariner thing. We could drink at the pub. Pick up a wretched mog. A yellow-eyed, mangy, piebald thing winds around your ankles like a manacle chain. You've never seen a cat's mouth open that wide. Oh, it'll consume some of our supplies, though. Chat to the fisherman. Time is passing on Mutton Island. Yeah, we know what happens when enough time passes. Buy fuel or supplies at an excess rate. The fisherman. Think you missed that? Oh, let's just say that meat's on the menu again, boys. And we'll leave it at that. And then they get excessively blockaded. Well, we'll spend 1 echo, I suppose, to chat to the fisherman. That doesn't seem all that much. They sail the Zee around the island. They mend their nets by a harbor. They see all that happens here, but you'll need a coin to open their mouths. Little ships and little secrets. Pirates plying the waves, smugglers at their work, connate ships putting in to resupply. Nothing dramatic, but enough to interest the Admiralty. Okay. Don't want to go in for drinks. Suppose we could wander along the shore. I wonder if we should pick up the Mog. It'll take a lot of our supplies, but supplies are cheaper at Port Carnelian anyway than they would be at Fallen London. And we've got about 100 echoes plus a little bit of profit to be made when we get there. And I want a cat, you know? I think the cat would do well here. Does this take up our something awaits you? It does not. Well, let's go pick it up. Meow, meow. The yellow-eyed, mangy, piebald thing winds around your ankles like a manacle chain. You've never seen a cat's mouth open that wide. Presumably it's hungry. What's that smell? Jumps down from your arms and disappears into the darkness of a ship. An hour later, 5 brutally executed rats are found on the foredeck. Well, he's an excellent hunter. That's to be said. Hilltop above town. There's not much wind on the Untersee, but Mutton Island suffers eerie gusts and buffets from an inexplicably local fragment of weather, and the air on the hilltop sometimes carries interesting scents. I think this will tell us more than exploring the shore will. Feeling I keep getting from this game is here, let's lull you into a false sense of security and then fuck all your shit up. Yeah, it really had been that way. I think I'll visit the hilltop above town because it has a challenge here. The voice of the wind. You stand on a cliff top looking over the little whitewashed village. Smoke from the chimney of the Cock and Magpie drifts straight upwards. As you watch, the smoke tilts. The sudden wind thins it to a pencil smudge, then nothing. The wind screams unexpectedly like a god cut in half. The scream subsides, giving way to a susurrus that surrounds you suddenly with the illusion of whispering voices. You could swear you hear words. In the depths, under 7 poles, nowhere, 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 nowhere. Must be the caves around the island channeling the air. At least that's the most comforting explanation. Below you, the locals each take nips from a shared flask and make a toast towards the mainland. The wind is a southerly. So is a southerly heading from the south or to the south? I wonder. I feel like it comes from the south. No, it heads to the south. Okay. So I guess we head to I had a 50-50 shot. Well, you know, I'm not a seasoned sailor here. All I know is that wind blows a lot. But I guess that it's coming somewhere from the north. Maybe it's a spooky something from up there. Who's to be sure? But I think we'll set off again. We're now kind of low on supplies, but we should be able to trade for something. I don't want to spend 30 echoes on supply, that's for sure. Which side is the starboard side of the ship? That I actually do know, because it's the right, because right has more letters than left, and starboard has more letters than port. So this I do know. Little ships throng the waters here. The crew goes wistful. They swap old stories of the sunlit sea. We draw near the Cumaean Canal with the way to the surface. Yes, that is down here. What's a rope called on a sailboat? A rope. Lots of rope. Maybe a line? I don't know. Uh-oh, we've sailed too far. Turn. Okay, we're good. A sheet or a line? Hold up, I thought the sheet were the sails. Uh-oh. You've begun to dream of a vast eye. It knows you. You cannot evade its gaze. A black, unsleeping taste. Again and again, you are alone on the wide black Z. The eye is aware. So we need restful nights at your logics to help resist it. If you defeat it, you may gain a secret. What's good under the sea? Well, we sailed off the north edge of the map and got teleported with half our crew, no supplies whatsoever, and very little fuel to the center of it. And then we sailed back from there. So it's been going. We've also adopted a cat, who I actually need to equip. Try going south? Yeah, that's where we're going right now. Could buy supplies, still at 30. South off the map? There's rock at the south of the map, as far as I know. As far as I've seen so far. I wonder. This is a looping sort of situation? Okay, the Cumaean Canal staging area. The canal ascends through locks and gates and shadowed turns to the sunlight of the surface. If we ever had tons and tons of fuel, we could always go up there. Considering he went from perfectly healthy to almost dead by going north, I'm scared. Yeah, me too. I think I'll only do that if I'm extremely well prepared. Let's listen for... Well, let's gather a port report, I suppose. Many ships pass this way. Perhaps you'll pick something up they missed. Business as usual. The gates open and shut. The locks remain free from sabotage. If anywhere besides London is safe and all the Untersee, it's here. The surface nations have an interest in keeping the way open. There may be a river that eats your boat's hull. That sounds bad. I don't know why I'd want to go there at all. Suppose there's something to be found at the end of the river, though. Let's listen for some surface gossip as well. The lines of the surface linger here. This is their lifeline to a warmer place. A sorry end. A card game ends badly when one surface sailor knifes another for all the usual reasons. The other players scrabble for the coin that spills from her pockets, but you snatch up a scrap of paper they overlook. Curious markings, dates, times, code names. Spies work. We have a move in the great game. I have picked those up before, and I know you can turn them into the Admiralty, but I feel like I should be able to do more with them. Maybe if I collect a few, I'll be able to find something out to extend my own personal spy network. But that'll be something for later. That'll be something for when we have excess echo. Aha, a jellyfish. Come here, you delicious fiend. Oh, we're in a fog bank, though. Okay. Forget you, you delicious fiend. Uh-oh. Has he forgotten me? Is he coming after me? Undetermined. I think he may be coming after me, but now we're out of the fog bank. Have at me if you dare. Haha. You've encountered the gillifleurs that prey on Cumaean shipping. Interesting. Unlocks a port report visage, but I do believe I want the food from it. Ah, and this gives the strange catch again. Sizzling vapors rise from the sea. Time slips sideways. A coil of rope has stung a stoker, and his fellows beat it to death. We are under the hand of the Iron Republic. Ah, that place most mad. Did I not? There we go. Just want to swing my light over that to see it. Mark it for us. Huh? Oh no, leave me alone. He's on the very edge of the range I would consider possible to fight, but I'm gonna say no. Alright, let's dock at this mad, mad place. Iron Republic, Hell's client state. Be wary, their laws are not the laws of man or nature. Factory engines roar like false lion. Blood thunders in the dock pipes. Crimson lightning skitters across the deck, leaps to the rail, and curls there like a cat. The city is reflected in the glassy, calm harbor water. The citizens there have heads of dogs and serpents. Hell has brought freedom to the Iron Republic, freedom from all laws, even those of nature. So we could listen if we were excessively terrified. Man, we should have went here instead of the Grand Geode when we were traveling with our previous captain. We can engage an officer, a cannoneer. We don't have any officers, any gunners. Could give them time ashore, but I feel like that would get them eaten. Open up the market of hungers. Did we pick up something here to sell in Port Carnelian? Pick up something in Fallen London to sell in Port Carnelian or here? I think it was Port Carnelian. Yeah, because they only bought supplies and Zoop here. And I believe we picked up some mushroom wine. So I don't necessarily need to do that. Let's see. I want to make sure that I still have the opportunity to pick up this cannoneer. Okay, I think I should be able to grab the port report. Compile a port report. It won't be entirely straightforward. The streets won't lie straight, and the ink freezes whenever you look away from the inkwell. Facts and fiction. To record the Republic's events, it's like trying to sing wax or believe paper, or believe water. You do what you can. The third paragraph buds eyes. The date is fundamentally wrong. The full stops bite. You do what you can. Oh no, we've lost some pages. Oh no, how terrible. The Parliament of Flies is open for business. We've gained Memory of Distant Shore and a Tale of Terror. What is the Parliament of Flies? I guess that's a shop? No, it doesn't seem like it. Interesting. Let's go pick up this officer, I suppose, the Irrepressible Cannoneer. Madam, are you looking for a gunner? I'm looking for a ship. Here are my references. Here are more references. Here's my design for a whistling shell. Here's my colleague. He'll stay on shore. Here's my hand. Will you take it? Welcome aboard. Oh, this is interesting. Room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. Wait, let me make notes. Paper. Perfect. And we also need to equip our wretched Mog. Because its perpetually ill-tempered does not endear it to the crew, but it does make it an effective ratter. Oh, we can't talk to our Mog? We can talk to the ferret and the Gallivant, the Blemigan. Why can't we talk to our Mog? Oh, well. And they have given us quite a bit of iron as well. Wow. No, you still require food. Wow, and you require lots of food. Oh, I see. I also require torpedo components and lots of fuel. Wow, you are an expensive diner. My goodness. Suppose we can open up the Parliament of Flies here. Madam Sir Helga is punch first, ask questions later kind of person. Yes, he question mark she is. Alrighty, let's check out the shops here. This is not the same as the last time I went here. Okay, so this I need to document. Perhaps I chose a choice that opened it up somehow else? Interesting. I'll have to write down these new trades. So, romantic literature sells for 22. We're in the Iron Republic. Maybe it's the Parliament of Flies specifically? When I got the port report, didn't it say some shop opened up? Yes, but I thought it was... I thought I'd seen that come up before, and I hadn't found anything new here. Who knows? But yes, romantic literature sells for 22 echoes. Fuel is cheap here? Yeah, it definitely is. I've got plenty of it, though, so I think I should be good for a while. Centillic sells for 74 echoes. That's a good price for it. Judgment's Egg, which for some reason is a... Is this a soul? It's pale and bright. Souls like this, they say, are the spores of strange gods. They are both bought and... No, they're just bought for... Colossal Flute Core. I haven't ever heard of that one. A Dread Surmise is bought for Searing Enigmas. And last but not least, a bale of parabola linen. Parabola linen is bought for 57 echoes. Okay. I think parabola linen. Sells for 60 echoes in Fallen London. Not much else that I see. I'm sure it sells elsewhere, but it's nice to know that we can get it here, though. All right, we'll keep that in mind. I don't think we'll get any fuel for now because we are already sort of full up. We've got 13 fuel, which is I think is plenty. And I'd rather save my echoes for other emergency purchases, let's say. But I think that's just about everything here we can get. We can open up the Market of Hungers. Suppose, why not? Why not? Because it gains us terror. Yeah, that just doesn't open anything else. I wonder if that's a timing thing. I wonder if that's something else. Who knows? Either way, I think we've done everything we can here. We've got ourselves a new Cannoneer who gives us quite a bit of iron. And we've equipped our Mog. So let's get ourselves to Z. I think this is probably one of the last cities south. I think the only thing below us is the Grand Geode. Got ourselves another deep. That is a large ship. Well, oh, not too. The Republican Dreadnought. We'll sail quietly away. There we go. Castle Clare. I think that's just a landmark. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have a dock there. Another one? A glorious frigate. Came on deck to find the metals sharp with sparks ozonal coronas haunt the ship. This is Dawn's Edge. Corkery Bay. Interesting. Oh, and naturally the ship has found us again. We'll just sail under the cover of fog here. See if we can evade it. Oh, no, it has found us. Is it going to try to fire on us? I don't think we can fight it effectively. Oh, it hit us with a torpedo. Okay, let's burn some speed here and get out of this situation. Oh, there's another one here too. Recurring nightmare watched. The sea is bright as milk. False stars above are black on pitchy bed. Something is watching you. Its gaze enfolds your boat. We've got almost 100% of each challenge. We only have one at the moment. I think we'll take the safe option here. So we've lost the menaces, and I believe we lose the nightmare now. An escape. The sea churns in your wake. You pull away from the eye into the shallower waters of waking, but a terror clings. The weight has lifted. Your dreams have passed. That's good. Isn't it? Aha, you've lost me. My masterful turning on and off of my lights have prevented you from finding where I am. Discovered Zelos Town. Oh, I see. That's the Grand Geode. Okay. Glorious Dreadnought has 500 health. My goodness. Yeah, this is something of the Admiralties I do remember. Electric shiver to the air. Storm is watching, the sailors would say. Okay, we have docked. The Grand Geode and their cult of people that are bright. A naval base with the Royal Navy's emblems curiously amended. Efficient, bright-eyed women and men work briskly everywhere you look. They are singing hymns with unfamiliar words. Hard-faced Royal Marines watch you carefully, barring entry to the geode's heart. A plaque by the docks has been defaced with orange paint, but you can still make out the original inscription. Station 5, Adjunct. Let's go grab a port report here. Does the Admiralty know or want to know? Take discreet notes. The Marines are watching. Let's go talk with the Commodore. Ask to speak with somebody in authority. What is this place? The Commodore may be able to give you a few minutes. The Commodore shakes your hand warmly. He's a handsome, open-faced fellow in an immaculate Navy uniform. His office is equally handsome. It overlooks the glittering interior crystal cliff. It might be as well lit as any study in the Neath. He deflects questions about the purpose of this installation. Classified, you know, but smilingly offers you tea, biscuits, and mineralogical anecdotes. The biscuits are good, but the anecdotes rather blend one into the next. You find yourself nodding and then jerk suddenly awake. The Commodore is smiling. Your cup feels empty. You feel well, very well, a little euphoric even. Lost some come back soon, he says softly. Lost some terror, gained a memory of distant shores, memoirs of a sunstroke, and we've got the menaces of yearning and burning. This we can't let get too high. That's what happened to our last captain when we docked here. We thought we would get some terror reduction and stuff like that, and we went off the deep end. We had our terror jump by 17, which put us immediately into 100, and got us real killed. We lost a bit of time. So I do not think that we will... Wow! I don't know what this Element of Dawn thing is, but boy, does that want a lot of expenses for it. The Exile is a first officer who increases mirrors and pages. A dark-spectacled woman marches up to you in some haste. Madam, take me with you. I am no longer welcome here. I will show you where we need to go. She actually doesn't cost us anything, so yeah, sure, let's pick him up. Welcome aboard. Here I am. A ship, I suppose, is both always here and never there, because there becomes here. We have a Carnelian exile. Considering how little I trust the Grand Geode and the Carnelian... or sorry, not the Carnelian exile. The Admiralty situation here, I am kind of happy that we found her. Ask her. Ask her what? Unlocked with At Last Salt's song. Interesting. Yes, I'm happy to have her on our crew, as well as the fact that it actually fills up our whole roster here. So that is perfect. Perhaps we'll dine with her at a later date when we have a better supply situation going on. So let's see if we can find ourselves Port Carnelian off to the southeast here. Hopefully without running into too many dangers on the way. Here we go. There's some shore. And there's a mining pit. Things are looking good. The Carnelian coast. Far to the south, the Neath roof glimmers above the mountain of light. Discovered Relias's Bluff. There's Port Carnelian. We've gotten our Something Awaits Us back as well. There's a big fish out there. Can we take this down? We could try. Behemoth Sash. Perhaps not. Well, fire a warning shot. Beep, beep. Haha. Not quite close enough to us. Alright, yeah. Suffered 16 damage. Oh my goodness. Okay. And lost a piece of crew? That's not very good at all. Okay, we are close to getting it off, though. We've got it in dock. Oh, we've got a... You've got to be kidding me. Uh-oh. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Oh, everything is terrible. Your ship's founders. There screams a flood of dark water. The unforgettable sound of the ship's spine breaking. Oh no, we've died! Are you kidding? I cannot believe that he lived with 1 health. How ridiculous is that? And we just... I can't believe it. This is ridiculous. How absurd is that? We had so much damage on him. We had dropped him 1 health away, and we whiffed our final shot. I could have made his support, but I decided to... I really thought I would get him. We had him on the ropes. Oh, man. I died May 22nd, 1888, in my sleep, apparently. Well, shoot. I can't believe we lost that. We were doing so well. Keep the weapon, go for another iron playthrough. I think I will. I think I will keep the weapon. Man, how annoying is that? I thought I had him. I can't believe... Okay, so I guess we've learned that the game really hates fair play, I will say. I had him on the ropes. I had him down to a T. Dang. How annoying is that? Well, we keep half of our iron, which is 26 apparently. But considering I think we're keeping another iron playthrough. Well, that's 2 captains down. Helga did not last long whatsoever. Madam Sir Helga died super fast. Okay. Well, we'll choose our path again. We were, again, another veteran. Echo, iron, our cook friend. Somebody is still looking for passage. You know, this time I think I'll actually go for... I won't go for the Father's Bones. We didn't get very far on that quest at all. But since we have the DLC now, I kind of want to go for it. I'm going to play this captain a lot more safely, I think, than I did the other one. Always Father's Bones? Why always Father's Bones? I think, like, it'll send me to King Eater's Isle, evidently. But I think it'll... I think that's not a fantastically interesting motivation. I could go for it again. I could just make this a duplicate clone of Madam Sir Helga. You also think I should do Father's... Okay, I'll stick with Father's Bones then. Lost at sea. Gotta find him. Didn't even really start it. Yeah, I agree. I really got nowhere on that. Okay, well... Shoot. Okay, so this time... I will be Sir. Let's see, but I will be... Okay, that death was entirely hubris. I should have had him. I had him on the ropes. He was inches away from a knockout, and he just went so absurdly, ridiculously out of his way to finish that off. Okay. to carry on the air of confusion, we will be Sir Madam Helgen. Man, I am so annoyed about that one. Even if I'd hit that last shot, I would have died on the way back. No, we weren't far out at all. We were at Port Carnelian. We were inches from safety. Oh well. On the way back to London. Well, we could have repaired up. We could have fixed everything up. That's okay. We are now Sir Madam Helgen. We're gonna say the twin brother to Madam Sir Helga, who's got wild tentacly hair. Could only repair at London. No, you can repair elsewhere. Yeah, we got the same Admiral. We'll get the beginning steps out of the way, I think. And we'll just get ready to set sail here. And then I think I will end this one a little early. I'll save Sir Madam Helgen for the next Sunless Sea stream. We've still got to meet with the Admiral. Still got all the Submariner stuff. Labyrinth of Tigers is still available. Let's sell off our advice for captains. Sell all of that off. I'll have to erase all of the quests that we've now lost at sea. We'll buy up that singular flare. And take aboard our... Ooh, this is a new fellow. Okay. So what does this man want? Agree to carry the Nomic Gallivant to the Cumaean Canal or the Iron and Misery Funging Station, or both. History is a horse. Who will prick it with their spurs, he cries to no one in particular. A drop of blood may be as precious as a ruby. Interesting. Welcome to board. He puffs out his chest. Ruby studs gleam in the lamplight. I knew London had surprising souls still left in it. I am seeking truth, sir, which, I am told, I may find in the Iron and Misery Funging Station and the Cumaean Canal. Ideally, I'd learn both, but I could settle for one. For at Port Cecil, there will be a contest, and we will change the world with a game of chess. A king will fall. Are there any kings? I mean, there's the King Eater's Isle. But I don't think there's been any other kings mentioned this whole time. I'm pretty sure that everything has been... there's the Queen, I suppose, that they refer to, because this is set from Victorian London. I believe that is when the bats took fallen London back down to the Neath. Yeah, I don't think I've heard mention of any other kings. Maybe that has something to do with the Khanate. Maybe the Khanate has a king of some sort in it. But yeah, both of these locations are real close, so that will be an easy tutorial trip. Let's check out London, see if they've got anything. We can pick up the Blemmigan again. Poor Ferret is still the poor Ferret. I would really like to see him have a happy ending somehow, because he's kind of just sat there the whole time. I mean, he might only have that option. But I'd really like him to drop him off at an island of like-minded ferrets or something like that, or maybe send him up to the sun. Maybe that's something you can do when you travel up the Cumaean Canal, because I believe if we've talked to him before, he mentions, maybe not quite this one, a weary roll of the eye. Play, that eye roll says. Play. I played once in the happy warrens of London before you installed me in this floating coffin and made me eat dried food. Damn your play. It is an elegant eye roll. I swear that one of those communications has been that he misses the sun. So maybe that's an option that we can give him once we have enough to travel up the canal. Either way, that'll be something for whenever we have enough supplies to travel up the Canadian Canal to the surface. For the meantime, we'll pick up that Blemmigan Gallivanter again. There we go. And yeah, pick up a tomb colonist. And last but not least, we will grab anything in particular that they require we do, which is the Iron and Misery Funging Station. So I think this time, the path that we would take would be to head to the... Let's see, our passenger needs to go to Iron and Misery Funging Station, I believe. Yes, and the Cumaean Channel. Let's see. Apparently, they are the Nomic Gallivant. I believe our mushroom friend is also some sort of Gallivanter. So is Gallivanter a location? I thought Blemmigan... I guess that's his race. The Blemmigans are the mushrooms. So I wonder if the Gallivanter is a description or if that's a location. Could just be that they're both travelers, essentially. But yes, we'll note down that the Nomic Gallivant going to the Cumaean Canal. Extra A in there. And the Iron and Misery Company Funging Station. And that we have a tomb colonist bound for Venderbite. Okay. I think we've got... Oh, and we'll need to equip our... Oh, no, we've already got our deck weapon equipped. It's a shame we can't line this up as a forward weapon. Well, maybe, perhaps we can, but we can't as we don't have a forward weapon slot at the moment. So we'll just sell that one off. But yes, I think we will leave Sir Madam Helgen for the next time we come back to this. That will be next Tuesday at 3 PST. I am doing this Tuesdays and Thursdays at present. I will be back tomorrow playing some Sevtech Ages, a Minecraft mod. If you'd like to show up then, I would be happy to see you there. And if you're just interested in this, I will see you next Tuesday. But yeah, thanks for sticking around. This one was a little shorter. We ended up dying straight off the bat, which was really, and so, it's such a sad way too. We really didn't need to die there. I did entirely take that fight out of hubris. They are right. But I really thought I had that fish, that blasted fish. I guess we know our limit. I guess we know that our limit is around 200 health for an enemy that we can take on. At least if they hit as hard as that fish did. But yeah, I will see you either tomorrow or Tuesday, or perhaps not again at all. But if you would come back, that would be great. I'd enjoy it. Cheers, everybody. I will be off now.